every time I get around to going through my stack of review units that I need to get through, the good folk at Shenzhen Audio send me something from Truthear, and then I have to chuck it all and cover that instead, because usually it's something interesting. Now today, they sent me two such things, the Shio and the Hola. One's a DAC amp for $80 and one's a $20 IEM. And we'll talk about both of those, except before that, I just want to ask you something. What is wrong with you? All of you, from the bottom of my heart, from the nicest place in my heart, what is wrong with y'all? Because they also sent this. Now, this is nothing new. You got waifus all over the place, sure. But they sent this little card along with that. And I'm going to read that out to you, okay? Her name is Shiroi, female gender, 170 centimeters tall, 45 kilograms in weight, hair is white. Hang on, 170 centimeters tall and 45 kilograms? She is puking everything out the moment she's eating it. That's what's happening. 170 centimeters and 45 kilograms. What is wrong with you? You know what? I'm not even gonna. Y'all are degenerates. You are all degenerates. And you should really subscribe to this channel. We'll put that aside and we'll actually talk about what's at hand here. Now, this is a dongle DAC, comes with a USB-C cable, USB-C input here, and it has this nice leatherette finish. Everything's black, everything's very simple, it's compact. It comes with a single-ended and a balanced output, so that's nice. 3.5mm, 4.4mm jacks, that's one of the advantages. The other being that this can handle pretty high resolution audio as well. I'm not going to go into exactly what that is because you can look that up in the spec sheet, and real world, it honestly doesn't make a difference beyond a point. It comes with a volume control and a little LED as well. That LED actually shines through the 3.5mm jack. So at night, if you don't know where to put it in, this will guide you. I told you should have subscribed. Anyway, look, it says that it produces about 55 milliwatts of power up at 300 ohms impedance, and I tested it out with my HD6XX from Sennheiser and it did work. You need about 75% power to have listenable volumes, and then you got a little bit of headroom but not much. But that means it'll also power a ton of headphones out there that work on lower impedance. Not a problem for IEMs at all. Plus you get a little amplification in there, so that's nice. But it's also $80. Now if you get the $15 dongle DAC from Apple or Samsung, I do believe they truncate 24-bit audio down to 16-bit audio, and that's a little bit of a compromise. If you don't want that, then you can go for this, but it is not cheap. As for the sound, it does add a little of its own flavor to it. I noticed, and this was fairly obvious, I noticed there being an increased presence in the upper mid and treble region for anything I plugged into this versus my other sources. So I feel like this is doing a little something there, which is okay if you're plugging it into something that is a little treble shy. But if you use it in conjunction with the Truthear Hola, then it becomes a bit spicy, because the Hola, it has its own spice. Now this is a $20 IEM that honestly, it looks kind of nice. I like the aesthetic that Truthear is digging into, as opposed to all the shiny chi-fi IEMs out there. What they're doing is they're going for the matte black finish, the more understated, mature look. And literally they've just got like a decal on one side with a very simple graphic on it. I like it. If you gotta go cheap, but go tasteful. This is fine. This is fine for $20. It also comes with this really neat leather pouch, which reminds me of some really old style leather pouches. Very cool. But really what's important is how does it sound? It's a single dynamic driver and it's a V-shaped IEM, though not as far V-shaped as a lot of its competitors, and that's a good thing because it is skirting that edge where anything more would have been too much. In the bass region, there's heaps of it. It's not necessarily the best controlled bass, but there's gobs of it and it's nice and thumpy. It's very dynamic driver. I think a lot of people are going to enjoy it. Think of it as a budget Olina SE. That's kind of what it sounds like. In the mids, well, mid sound recessed as normal for a V-shaped IEM, but not too much, not too far back. It's honestly pretty decently clear in the mids, and in the upper mids there's a lot of spice. The treble actually isn't that spicy. It actually falls off after 8 or 10 kilohertz. So what you've got is spicy female vocals, nylon string guitars, all have a little bite to it, but on certain tracks, Ed Sheeran for instance, things do get a little bit too sharp. Not so sharp as to get harsh or sibilant, but a little too sharp nonetheless. And that treble extension, air and detail in the upper treble, it just is not there. It just falls right off. It's It's kind of a dark IEM with a sharpness in the upper mids and a lot of bass. That's basically what the Hola is. So the real question is, does it compare against the best in the business, the Tangzu Waner, at least in my opinion? No, I think the Tangzu Waner is still a little bit better by being a little more controlled in the bass. The Waner gives you tighter, punchier, more well-controlled bass, and the presentation is a bit clearer, so you get the impression of more resolution on the Waner as opposed to the Hola. Oh, and before I forget, the nozzle diameter is about 6 millimeters. So it's wide, but just for my ears, it's on the limit of what would become too wide. Now, a lot of people ask me about technicalities at the $20 price point, and I never get into it. Not really. The thing is, technicalities are not great. For any of these $20 IEMs, they're not great. Space, soundstage, not very wide at all, mostly in your head. Imaging, average. If you scale up to the $80 Hexa or the $100 Olina SE, the differences are superbly noticeable. There is a reason these things are $20. So don't expect too much of that. It's not terrible, but I can tell you with some confidence that from a technicalities point of view, the Tangzu Waner still sounds better in almost every way. And as for the actual tonal balance, well, that's up to you, isn't it? This is a V-shaped IEM without pushing it too far like a lot of other $20 IEMs do, and therefore can be a lot of fun. If you like a lot of bass, if you like a little sharpness in the lower treble and upper mids, that is to say vocals have a little sharpness in them, then this is an option. It's nice to have flavors at the $20 price point. Just don't build a $20 portfolio of different devices and imagine that you're doing better than buying one single $80 or $100 device that is accomplished. That is not the case. At this price point, it still scales quite nicely with money. And that's about it. This is the Hola, this is the Shio. You're all degenerates, but you should still subscribe to this channel. I'll see you in the next one. Stay happy, stay peaceful, stay colorful. Namaste.